Hi, my name is Kenneth. I'm from Malaysia, from the state of Selangor. I grew up in quite a privileged home. Yeah, I didn't really have to worry about money. But because my parents were very busy finding money, I felt also maybe they were absent in my life. Both my grandparents, they are very critical. So whatever I do, they will often criticize. I'm not good enough. They will often compare me with other people. And even if I did achieve something, it would often feel, not recognized, not acknowledged. So I guess in the early stages of my life, I would still have the energy to kind of like fight back or rebel against my grandparents. But over time, my voice just became softer and softer, and I just cut off people from my life and just became very, very quiet. At that point, I was working for my family business. I was feeling quite low, just kind of like hanging. And there was this task that I was supposed to do. It was regarding a shipment, and I did a mistake. So my colleagues had to they had already transported all the goods from a higher floor down to the ground floor, pushing and carrying all the heavy goods. And then when it's time to ship out, because of my mistake, the shipment couldn't carry on. So they had to carry back all the goods up there. So I felt really embarrassed by my own mistake. I made it so big in my mind, their voices would play in my head. See, look at the mistake you did. You look at the inconvenience you have caused. And I just couldn't face them the next day and just stopped coming to work. At that point, I was suicidal, and it was always at the back of my mind. That kind of reminded me of my Christian friends. Maybe they have this sense of peace, a fearlessness, a purpose in life. They kind of have a direction in life. But at this point, I was so low, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna search what is the meaning of life. And it gave me some answers, but I wasn't really satisfied with it. And then I remember about a relative telling me about the Alpha course. You can ask anything on this course. If you don't like it, you can leave. And then I thought, okay, I'm just gonna give this whole Christianity thing a try. The Alpha I attended was online because it was during the pandemic, it was during the lockdown. At that time, I was quite anxious. I had social anxiety. I cut off my friends from my life, so I don't really communicate with other people. So attending it and seeing people on Zoom made me initially anxious, but the way they welcomed me, the way they treated me, made me feel comfortable. I didn't expect so much friendship to be fostered even. I was just expecting it to be like a discussion group kind of thing, but there was a real love in the space, even through the online screen. Yeah.
So for those questions that I guess I was hesitating to ask, I did manage to ask, and they did reply me in a very friendly manner, not judgmental.
I think it was during week 4, there was an image, a painting of Jesus. He was at this wooden door. I think he was like knocking on the door. And then there's no door handle on the outside where Jesus is knocking, So it says something like, Jesus wouldn't force himself onto you. It's up to you to welcome him in, to accept him. So it's at that point I decided, okay, I'm gonna welcome you, and yeah, let's see where this takes me. At that point, I wouldn't call myself a Christian then, probably, but I was definitely open to explore more compared to before that. I was like totally anti-hateful, This time I was like open to want to know more. I had a lot of doubts, and I was, a lot of questions, so I just signed up for a year of theology. So I did that year, and yeah, that kind of like gave me more answers and more questions at the same time. Yeah, I got engaged at the same time. It also went to a point where I was really low, and it reminded me of the time when I was depressed and suicidal. It felt like this very comfortable hole of darkness. It's like I'm just curled up there. It's not, how to say, it's not a nice feeling. It's not a nice place to be in, but it feels comfortable because it's familiar. It's a familiar feeling. So I could feel myself falling back down this slippery slope of uselessness, of this feeling of uselessness, depression. So as I'm falling down and down, I was like, I guess crying at the same time, asking God, do you still love me? in my utter uselessness, do you still love me? And I could hear him say, yes, I love you. Hearing that I love you was like a rope that could help me climb out of this slippery slope of darkness, depression, feeling of uselessness.
It's definitely, I guess, it's a secure feeling knowing that there's someone, an external being, God, looking after me, that He's watching me and He loves me, knowing that He's there for me, His presence, yeah, compared to having no one at all, yeah.
For someone who wasn't able to hold a job for more than a year, I'm married now, which I could not have imagined to have happened at all. And generally, with Jesus in my life, knowing that there's someone who loves me despite how useless I am, despite all my failures, there's a dark tunnel, and previously maybe it's all dark, but now I can see there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The light there keeps me hopeful and motivates me to continue to overcome the challenge.